decent atmosphere for the opening night. Sky Sports Dart, our Twitter account. Quite marvellous. Spain made a big impression a few years ago. 2010, they knocked out England.
Yeah, they did, but a lot's changed since then, Dave, because Carlos Rodriguez was in the team then and not Cristo Reyes, and for England was James Wade instead of Adrian Lewis. So a lot's changed, but look, these are really capable. For me, this is about Alcinas, because he is such a quality player. But for some reason, the last 18 months, 2 years, he's just not found the form that saw him as a danger in tour events, and he looked like doing damage in a World Championships just 2 years ago, but that didn't come to fruition.
Everyone expected so much more from him, didn't they, after making such a big impression?
It's the way he throws, and let's be honest, he looks the part as well, and if he can kickstart something now, just get it going, then it'd be great for him and great for darts in Spain, obviously.
Pairs, race to 5 legs, short format, and a format they're not used to.
Well, no, it's a format that, to be honest, even the likes of England and Holland are not used to. It's tough. And Eric alluded to something earlier we were chatting about, and that was your rhythm. The rhythm, you've got to get into it, and hopefully these 4 do, and we're going to start with a cracker.
Rod Harrington, Rod Stood, your commentators.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Wayne. Yes, Spain getting us underway. As Wayne and Dave were saying, caused the biggest World Cup upset of all. First PDC World Cup. Alcinas was there, Reyes wasn't. It was Carlos Rodriguez, but Alcinas is the man who hit the winning double. It sunk Phil Taylor and James Wade. Amazing upset. Up against Norway tonight, and Spain starting favourites. There's Robert Wagner, you saw there, his partner Vegar Elvevoll. And Alcinas, had a great run, didn't he? He appeared in the World Championships, Rod, a couple of times, but he completely lost form, as Wayne was saying, in the last 18 months or so, trying to get it back now.
Yes, I think what happened, Rod, he didn't play on the tour enough. 44. You know, you need to play on the tour week in, week out to have that exceptional practice against other players. And I think being in Spain, he just let it off the side a bit. But Reyes, this guy, Cristo Reyes, is a class player. He's only been in the system about a year. So if he can keep up his form, and then that should help Alcinas, and they could be some spoilers here, Rod, as they really could.
Well, yeah, he hadn't played in a PDC event until he qualified for the World Championships 6 months ago. He knocked out Wesley Newton and Kevin Painter. They're hardly mugs. To get to the last 16, he's hit a couple of 9 daughters on the tour since joining the tour. Brilliant stuff. Starting from scratch, he's got up to 53 in the world rankings, and he'll go a lot higher than that. Reyes looks at a 2-dart combo here, Rod.
It would be a 14-dart leg, which would be exceptional. Oh, we'll settle for a 15.
37.
Alcinas will come back. Norway a long way off in this leg. Robert Wagner, he's got plenty of experience. He's been around a long time.
60.
Listen, settle Alcinas down, that's for sure, if he can just pin this double 10, especially if he does it first start.
Which he does, so Spain take the lead. 16-dart leg. That winning leg against England, they went out in 11 darts against Taylor and Wade. And that was meant to be just a procession, a coronation from dart 1 to the end of the tournament, wasn't it? Taylor and Wade turn up and win the prize. Since then, of course, Phil Taylor has gone on to win the tournament twice with Adrian Lewis, but it was a shock off the sporting Richter scale.
Yes, it certainly
97.
was. But it just shows you, you know, when some people represent their country, they really do get up for it. And certainly the Spanish did that day, as have a few other teams. I mean, the Welsh come to mind when Mark Webster and Barry Bates. I mean, how well did Mark Webster play? He just wore that Welsh shirt with pride.
And Webster back. And for another crack, this time with young Jamie Lewis. We'll see that tomorrow. This is Wagner, he turns 50 next week. Been around the block a little bit. Quarter-final of the World Championship, the Lakeside in 2010. And has got a verdict over Gary Anderson in the World Masters in 2008. When he reached the semi-final, that form doesn't look too bad now, does it?
55.
You said the form line of that, and then he should be absolutely on fire. There's Gary Anderson now can't miss. Premier League champion, world champion, and that gives the Scottish a real good chance of lifting this title. If they can gel, and that's the thing, Eric alluded to it, you know, in the news cross, you have to gel, you have to leave your partner. You set it up for his double, not your double.
Good point, Rod.
86.
Well, it's not too bad. Even the last dart didn't hit the target. Leaves a two-dart combination to level the match for Elvevoll when he comes back.
137. Team Norway requires 64.
Norway may only get one dart at a double.
Might not even get that, Rod.
Yes, I know. Well, that was nearly in the two, but he has got tops. Elvevoll for
44.
the second leg.
Team Spain requires 72.
Alcinas comes back for 72, so he should get one dart at a double to take a 2-0 lead.
Well, 45 left, so 13 probably, or 5 for tops. Choice of double. Double 16 then for Alcinas and Spain.
56. Team Norway requires 20.
The first dart unsettled him a little bit, didn't it? Right, well, double 7. Well, he's always been a little bit of a showman, Robert Wagner. Failed to hit the target.
Team Spain
Well, if
requires
you're going to be a
16.
showman, you should get closer than that. They were a long way off. And we fancy that Reyes will not pass this chance up. Becoming a very, very good player is Cristo Reyes. Like you said, Rodders, right out of the blue, plays in the World Championship, and since then, he is making a career out of the game of darts.
Yeah, from Tenerife, and bear in mind, this is his World Cup debut, not Spain's World Cup debut, as already said, but in the previous 4 tournaments, Alcinas was paired with Carlos Rodriguez, and they formed a really good partnership. Rodriguez has lost his form, slipped down the rankings, and that's where Reyes has stepped in. But I mean, he looks the best of all the Spanish players out of the blue, as you said, Rob, didn't he? It's a very, very cool customer.
He certainly is. As Eric would say, looks a proper dart player. And the thing about this, he would not have played with Alcinas in any tournaments because, you know, Tenerife's a long way off of mainland Spain. And so they wouldn't have met on many occasions, only when they started playing on the PDC.
60.
Throws a good steady dart, does Reyes. Not a lot can go wrong with that throw under pressure.
I mentioned those wins over Newton and Painter. Then it took Gary Anderson,
58.
who was on his way to winning the World Championship, and an average of 104.5 from the Flying Scotsman to get rid of Reyes, who rattled Gary Anderson's cage early on in that match. He had him under pressure,
90.
and Anderson was up there thinking, what's going on here? But Anderson had the class to get through and go on to lift the big prize. But again, Reyes announcing
99.
that he can play a bit. I don't think he's going to be a flash in the pan either. Let's see what he can do with this 1-1-1.
That leaves 14 for tops. This would certainly settle Reyes down.
91.
And if you're going to miss that, I know it sounds silly because you are aiming for it, you'd rather miss it above. So your partner's coming back for a clear at double top. Now Alcinas is coming back for the 10s. If he splits that 10s, that switch up to the 5s, you know, like the 18 to the 9s, is a bad switch.
100.
But Alcinas hit this in the very first leg, first dart. So we'll have a bit of confidence to do the same.
No problem, Rodney. 3-0 to Spain. It's first to 5 legs, remember. Also on the menu tonight, the favourites and 2-time winners, England. Lewis and Taylor, they take on Denmark. Host nation Germany against India. The Australian pair of Nicholson and Whitlock, they play the Russians. The Belgian brothers, the Hybrechts, play the Philippines. Quite looking forward to seeing Austria, Rodney, with Roby John Rodriguez, who we all really like, and Mensur Suljovic. I mean, how can you dislike Mensur, the erratic, idiosyncratic Austrian himself? Marvellous.
You took the words out of my mouth as you said it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them. It'd be interesting to see, because Mensah's very slow, will that upset Rodriguez, because he's got to wait for 2 other players apart from Mensah to throw. But I don't think people give Mensah the credit for his ability. They look at him so a bit like Brendan Dolan, but he is an exceptional player, and he's got plenty of bottle. He takes out chances when given them.
Well, in total command here, the Spanish. Well, looking good. 4-0. And looking good for the first maximum of the 2015 World Cup of Darts, and it comes from Cristo Reyes. Marvellous stuff from Elvevoll. It's the way to follow. What a set of darts this is. Missed the big number. Well, it would have been amazing, Rob, wouldn't it? 180, 180, 115 out. Didn't happen. Perhaps the 161 will.
Oh, Wagner's not really stepped up to the plate, has he?
93.
He should be the captain of this team. He's the one who you've got to have a leader. Certainly Reyes has been the leader in the Spanish team. Is he going to lead the 10s for Alcinas again? No, he's going to leave him the 5s. But a chance here for Norway. Again, they had a dart on a double in the second leg and missed it. They're going to get one more dart in leg 4.
16 then.
36. Team Spain, you require 10.
Well, for 4-0 and to put Norway at the point of no return, Alcinas. He's been the man on the doubles, hasn't he? Scoring has come largely from Cristo Reyes, but Alcinas, when the finishing touches needed to be applied, he's done so clinically.
Yes, that's first dart 3 times for Alcinas. And that's when you know, we talk about
60.
gelling. If you've got your partner that can hit the double, and you've got confidence that he ain't going to miss, then you're stepping up and you're thinking, right, I can casually do all the scoring. As we see Wagner here.
140.
But with Reyes, the interesting time for me in his career with the PDC will be at the end of year 2. Because the first 2 years you can only make pluses, there's no pressure on you. Then you're coming in defending points. And that's the time when it really does tell.
Well, Spain seeded
60.
12, so scheduled to meet Belgium, seeded 5 in the second round. That's if Belgium can get past the Philippines. And of course, if Spain seal the deal here.
100.
And that appears to be inevitable. Authoritative performance, average of 91 from the Spanish. Best ever run, that one we talked about in 2010 when they reached the semi-final before losing to the Dutch. Capable of rattling a cage or 2 along the way in this tournament, you would feel. In the second round, though, 2 singles and a doubles if needed, if the 2 singles matches are split. So the format changes once we get past
45. Team Spain, you require 141.
Yes, and it does lean towards the top seeds when we go into the singles. But that's not to say, especially this Reyes, as he's proven, can take on anybody. He's not scared of anybody. And that's a beautiful setup from Reyes. Leaving Alcinas the 32 to close off the first match of the 2015 World Cup here in Germany. He's been pretty good on the doubles.
60. Team Spain,
can he finish it off, Rodders?
Little doubt in my mind. And no doubt in his, and the Spanish pairing of Reyes and Alcinas have waltzed through into the second round. The first team through to the second round of the 2015 World Cup of Darts with a 5-0 whitewash of Norway.